Good morning, everyone. You know, it's very dangerous to invite two swimmers to be your opening act at 9 a.m. after they've spent a fun night out in Mexico City. But everybody's here promptly. I actually witnessed that story that Aaron just told you. I vividly remember him walking over. I was one of the guys that was, when we saw his name drop from one to the bottom of the list. And I think Aaron embodies, as I'm lucky enough to get to hang out with him regularly, he embodies everything that I think Pierre would stand for, the Olympic movement would stand for, and really what sport is all about. He has an incredible calmness about him. He's sort of our swimming Yoda, and so it's fun to follow him. I want to start off here today thanking SIS, all the sponsors. Arnaud, thanks for having us wherever you are to come and visit what I consider one of my favorite cities in the world. I celebrated a very large birthday 6 weeks ago, and I brought 26 of my American friends down here for 10 days to celebrate this very big birthday that I won't reference specifically. And it's one of my favorite cities in the world, so the minute Arnaud even hinted that I could come back, I jumped all over it, and it's been a lot of fun so far. I think that everybody in here is obviously in the sports business, but I think that if we got to hypnotize you all, and we really could find out what it was all about, I think ultimately we understand the incredible power of sport. And that is distilled down to the impact that it can have on youth and kids. The first night we got here, we were very, very lucky to work with 200 children, as Aaron said, over at the beautiful pool that I applaud anybody and everybody in here who has anything to do with keeping a 50-year-old pool in tip-top shape, stuffed with kids every day. Everybody from divers in one part, synchronized swimming in the other, and then Aaron and I and 200 kids in the big pool. But I think ultimately many of us are in here because we understand the power of sport and how much it can change people's life. And I'm going to use myself as an example on how sport, swimming specifically, the people involved in swimming, changed my life. I'm truly not sure where I would be had I not found swimming as a passion. So Aaron is the opposite of me. At 9 years old, I was a little screw-up. I don't know if that translates well, but I think you get the idea. There's probably more explicit, accurate ways to describe me at 9, but screw-up will do. I started swimming at 9. I had talent in the sense that I had a good stroke. I understood and could move through the water. Like Aaron, I was largely at this point in my life playing in the water. Unfortunately, I was in landlocked Dallas, so there was no ocean nearby. But spent every day as a kid, would get on my bicycle and ride to the pool and mess around, throw the ball, throw a tennis ball, play water basketball, but nothing focused. I swam on a swim team, and it wasn't up until high school, which I started swimming, and I think, like Aaron sitting in front of the television watching the '92 Olympics, that wasn't exactly what got me on the right path. Instead, my high school swimming coach had called me into his office and said, "I'm kicking you off the team." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You don't come on time. You miss a lot of workouts. You goof off when you do come to work out. You're not a positive influence on the other guys, so you're out of here." And I was like, holy cow. I was going to have to go to some study hall. I was going to lose all my friends. And so the epiphany for me was a swift kick in the tush. And it was at that point where I was like, I'm going to apply myself fully. He kicked me off for 10 days. He said, "You're off for 10 days. You can come back on the 10th day, and if you've decided that you want to take this sport seriously, we'll talk about it." So 10 days, I don't have any of my friends around, I'm not going to work out, I'm wondering what's going on. I come back and I say, "Here's what I'll do. I will be 10 minutes early for every workout. I will never miss a workout unless I tell you in an appropriate advance amount of time that I'm missing it, and when I come, I will work as hard as I can. I was 16 at this time, a very late bloomer. I weighed 120 pounds. What is that, 50 kilos, something like that? 6 feet tall, roughly, had a few more inches to grow. And it was the first time in my life that I had applied myself fully, and I was seeing improvement. But by no stretch of the imagination was I some great swimmer. In fact, none of the colleges really were very interested in me. I was recruited by a small college in Louisiana. I was also recruited by a college in South Carolina. And I got a phone call out of the blue one day from Eddie Reese, who is still the head University of Texas coach. And he said, "Hey, listen, I think you got a pretty good stroke. I'd love for you to come out for the team, but I have no money for you." And I'm like, okay, I think that's a compliment, but it doesn't sound like it exactly. And so I went back and I thought about it, and I decided that I would rather be the crummiest swimmer on the greatest team in college swimming than be the best guy on some little dinky team. So I show up at the University of Texas. I weigh 139 pounds. I could have cut you with my elbow, and I was the crummiest guy on the team. I show up, there's 5 or 6 Olympians already swimming at the University of Texas. Felipe was one of those. He's in here somewhere maybe. And I actually redshirted my freshman year. In college, in sports in college, you get 4 years to participate. But you can redshirt, which means you don't participate in the meets. You train with the team, you eat with the team, you live with the team, but they leave you behind when they go off and swim. And I did that for a year, and it was hard, right? You know, they were going to go swim Stanford or UCLA or USC, and I would go and wave them off at the plane and go home, and this is pre-internet, so you hoped you got a phone call to find out how things were going. So after this freshman year, 139-pound weakling, I put on some weight, I grow a little bit, I get better, I train with one of the best teams in the world, and after that year, I'm finally a full-fledged member of the team. So I have my sweatsuit, my kit, look really good, am very proud. It's November, and we're about to go to the first meet of the season. And we're going to go to California. Never been to California before in my life. We were going to go swim Stanford one day and Berkeley another day. So we fly to California. I have my sweatsuit. I'm finally on the University of Texas team. I'm so proud. My name was on the chalkboard. I'm going to California. Big deal. We fly out to California. I'm thinking about all this sunshine and things, and you know, I didn't know those 49er guys yet, and they didn't tell me that it rains all the time and it can be freezing cold, and all the pools are outside. So we land in San Francisco, and it's about 45 degrees. It's driving rain, but I'm excited to be be swimming for Texas. So we go to the hotel. I'm expecting to wake up the next morning and have it be a Beach Boys kind of day, sunny, warm. It wasn't. It was 45 degrees, driving rain. We don't have appropriate clothing. One of the assistant coaches goes to a store to buy us raincoats and umbrellas. And we arrive at Berkeley's outdoor pool, and they conveniently tell us that the visiting locker room is closed, but you can sit over there on those bleachers in the rain, you'll be fine. It's my first time to swim for UT. I'm so excited to be there. Never swum in a college meet before. The meet goes horribly for the University of Texas. Berkeley wins every single event, which is almost impossible to do. Eddie Reese, an incredible man, comes up to the 4 of us that are going to be on the final relay of this particular meet, which has gone as poorly as the weather. He comes up to us and he says the motivating words, "Hey guys, I think Cal Berkeley has used all their good guys. We should be able to win this relay." I'm like, what? So we decide that we're going to go with our slowest guy first, and I'm going to be the anchor guy. And I look over and I can see Berkeley's going to do the exact opposite. They're going to go with their fastest guy first, and they're going to have their slowest guy last. So I'm thinking, all right, we have to stay somewhat close, and then I'm going to catch this guy. First time to California, first time to be wearing University of Texas sweats. I'm so excited, I'm so proud. First two guys dive in. Berkeley goes out to a lead. We have every piece of clothing that we brought to California on, jeans under our sweats, t-shirt, dress shirt, sweatsuit, cheap raincoat that was just bought at the Target around the corner. Second guy goes in. Berkeley's still pulling away a little bit. They're about a body and a half ahead of us. I'm thinking, all right, we're good. My next guy's going to go. He's going to keep it even, and then I'm going to catch this guy. So the third guy goes in. He's swimming. I'm starting to take my clothes off. Jacket comes off. First layer of pants come off. Second layer of pants come off. Third layer of pants come off. T-shirt, dress shirt. Now all I have on is a parka. Big parka comes down to about right there. And I'm thinking, first time to California. First time to ever swim for the University of Texas. We're at Cal Berkeley, a powerhouse in swimming. My guy's coming, I'm gonna catch that guy right there. Last second, coming to the wall, off goes the parka, transition into the pool. My suit is around my ankles as a result of not tying the drawstring. And I'm thinking to myself, do you stop or do you go? And I thought, hey, I better catch that guy. Off comes the suit. First flip turn, moon everybody. We got two more to go. Second flip turn, same thing. Third flip turn, I'm catching the guy. And when I pushed off and he looked at me, he must have gone, what the hell is going on? The first time I ever hear my name announced as I lunge for the wall to catch this guy, the Berkeley announcer says, the swimmer in the white swimming suit is named Shaun Jordan. So that was my grand entrance to the sport of swimming. The kids really like that, so it makes them feel better about themselves. But that is the point. Two very different paths to the Olympic Games. And I think all of us are involved in sport because we understand the aspirational qualities that we all have. This is an incredible lineup down here in the front row. Better make sure you come down here and see them. But it can change people's lives. In addition to falling in love with swimming, I fell in love with school. I understood how much fun it could be to learn. I understood that I could apply the same principles that I'm learning through Eddie Reese and teammates like Aaron, and what you have to do to clip through to get better. That applied to everything. It applied to my relationship with my parents. It applied to my lawn mowing business that I used to have before I became a college swimmer. It was relevant in work that we all do today. So while I know this is a business conference, and I think Arnaud does a good job of distilling it, Jesse did a great job yesterday of distilling the power that we have to really move and change people's lives by showing and leading and teaching and encouraging. And it doesn't matter. Aaron and I were at Frida Kahlo's Blue House yesterday. It was an incredible place. And on the walk back, we discussed how many friends we had that didn't give it their all, that regret the fact they didn't give it their all. And the beauty of what sports teaches us, first of all, the clock is a beautiful thing. It doesn't care what you look like. It doesn't care what you're wearing. It doesn't care where you came from. It doesn't care that you know this person or that person. It is simply a true measurement that reflects what I'm doing. And so I really have enjoyed myself here. I think that this group collectively has an incredible amount of power, and that we have to continually challenge ourselves to make sure we inject ourselves into our local communities, make sure we're encouraging kids to challenge themselves, because the true winning is what Aaron just described. Did everything he could, had a great race, was a true sportsman, and in 5 minutes after being told what most of us was fine, the most devastating news that was non-family health kind of thing, he had found a peace in himself. And I think that's the beauty in sport. And so thank you very, very much for having me, and I look forward to having coffee after all this.